can see that Arcane Mage lighten up the meters right now. The Hunter finally pulls ahead. MMT kind of getting in place right now. Finally, we are going to actually see what work that they can get done onto the trash.
Again, they're going for big pulls, having cooldowns and everything. It is raging, so now they start doing a lot of damage there. The Guardian Druid just keeps kiting them. They're slowed permanently, so it's not really much of a problem for them. But it is fortified, so some of these big pulls are going to be very dangerous, and especially in the right here. We're going to have some of the stable hands and apprentices that are just going to do either heal or they're going to do damage to the raid, and you just need to have your stun and interrupt game on point.
Yeah, and we've seen just how important that really is with raging as well. It seems to be one of the key things. Rogue going to actually have to use cheat death there. It does get procced. The raging doing some serious damage with these chargers. What do players have to look out for with these chargers, Trekkie?
The chargers do a charge, as their name suggests. But like you were saying before, like raging is just really dangerous when the mobs go down there. And like usually, the tanks almost always think about raging because they're always going to be hit by raging mobs when they go low. But for DPSs, they might not think about it a lot. So when you come up to that mob that do end up having an AoE and you don't get it down from 30 to 0 fast enough, you're going to have those big AoEs hitting a person or several people in the group, and that's going to hurt so much. And they're going for a super big pull here, it looks like, and just going to have the chain stun. Probably chain interrupt too. That's going to get another stun right after the first one. It's actually not coming, but that's where they are taking so much damage from people right now. And all of them had raging now. They lost a person as well.
Not a necessary risk at all. I feel like MMT is so far ahead, but they're somewhat unbreakable. I mean, LSJ hasn't pulled Ottoman, and they need to go all of the way back. So even if we saw a wipe come out from MMT, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But now on to Midnight is LSJ, starting to get that damage flowing. MMT trying to clean up the remainder of the trash, and like you alluded to, the Rogue is dead.
LSJ just lost their warrior because they didn't dispel the debuff fast enough, and he started getting Grievous, and he just went down pretty fast. And they do not have a combat rest there, so they're gonna have to do Ataman. They're already far behind, and they're gonna have to do Ataman with 4 people.
Yeah, it's gonna be really rough. I think that this is just LSJ digging their hole deeper and deeper here. MMT finally onto Ottoman themselves, and I mean, it's just really their game to throw. I think the question for LSJ is just, do you try to play this out with the 2 DPS? I think at this point it's dire enough that you kind of have to.
Yeah, by now they've gone far enough to be like, well, it's better if we kill this with 4 people than trying to wipe it or whatever. But this boss is very, like, the more DPS you have here, the faster you switch to phases, which means that you have less abilities and less things to have to deal with constantly.
This is such an annoying phase to deal with for a long time, especially when, so only having the 2 DPS like you mentioned and not being able to phase Midnight quick enough, it actually makes that fight that much harder, on top of the fact that you're kind of hampered. You're going to be going really slow as you actually are DPSing it. Now MMT trying to close this one out on their map pick. They will be trying to bring it to this final and 3rd game to qualify, but their healer is going to go down. That is the 7th death for them. The combat res comes off, but not quick enough.
This is going to be really bad actually, because he gets this dispel off right away. The healer wasn't alive when that debuff came out, so he couldn't dispel it right away. Took him a few seconds to actually accept the rest, and then after that he knew who he needed to dispel, and so he was able to actually just get it off of everyone. You have to locate the person who has the main debuff, and there's no way of seeing that with add-ons. You just have to straight up look at the character, because they look kind of glowing in a funky way if they have the debuff here. But LSJ's gonna end up killing the boss here with 4 people, and gonna definitely have more time to spare just because they didn't end up wiping. But that is a very slow kill, and now they gotta run back up, run into a maiden. That's just gonna be really slow for them. Meanwhile, MMT has the boss at killing Ataman for the last time, I believe, and then just have Midnight right here and Rages there. Again, they also have 4 people to play with them.
Yeah, and also their Rogue is going to be slightly vulnerable with cheat already procced. By this point, should see aspect of the turtle available to the Hunter that could be helpful with Grievous. But
Midnight's gonna get down now, 5% left.
This is nice and easy. MMT able to take this one, so we are going to be going to this third map, and the question is, what are they going to pick? Because the map pool is dwindling at this point, and it's going to be even more difficult than that previous one.
Yeah, it's kind of deja vu for MMT. They looked really strong in their first series, but they had that wipe on map 1, ended up losing the game to Wild Beast, but they were able to reverse it 2-1. Now against LSJ as well, they were so far ahead, had that wipe on the final boss, but now in game 2 able to look much stronger, honestly, than LSJ. LSJ didn't even get back to the final boss, or the boss that they skipped, so to speak. But they will now have the map pick with that Discipline Priest. It can be an advantage since their composition is so far away. Like you said though, Rich, some very difficult maps still in the pool. Really start to question your valor. You're going to have to prove your worth in this instance.
Always stay clear.
And now we are going to be jumping into this one in just a few short seconds here. MMT versus LSJ. And we've seen in this series so far on both of these maps some really big mistakes coming back to bite these players.
We're going to see a super big pull here from LSJ. They're going to do both the first 2 packs and deal with the MMT is going to go with the safer route and just do the first pack. This is a very dangerous one, and we actually see a death right away from the Warrior. And the DK almost going down there as well. They have killed most of the charge though, so it will probably pay off. It's a lot of explosives and everything, but the Storm Drake does a frontal attack as well that you just have to deal with properly as well.
Yeah, Schism now going to be invested right now by that Disc Priest. I think one of the big things to note was it was hard to get up Atonement really quickly there, and we actually saw Smites going out onto those explosive orbs to try to deal with them because there were just so many with a pool that big. MMT now going to be able to, even though they didn't have that massive pull, they are still moving with quite an impressive clip, and you can see just how easy it is to cut through these mobs when they don't have Fortified.
Yeah, LSJ just had a lot of had to backtrack quite a lot there because they started losing people. People could release and get back relatively quickly. MMT is gonna have to deal with that second pack. Like if you just use all the cooldowns as LSJ ended up doing there, you can stun them and get rid of a lot of those small mobs really quickly, so they don't do that cast. That ends up stunning you guaranteed, and they just dealt with it very well. MMT is going looking like basically LSJ did, even with a much smaller pull.
Yeah, now the Drake's going to start to fly across and actually create those bad lightning zones onto the ground. The first one going to be in mid, but there's an explosion that they need to hit. If they don't get this, it's going to do some serious damage.
It ended up actually exploding and doing a lot of damage to Red, so if they get a Hold on Valor now incoming as well, then they might, we're going to take a lot of damage to get everyone back up again before that Horn of Valor. It still hasn't come actually.
Yeah, Heimdall taking serious amount of damage, dropping below this 40% mark. MMT haven't even been able to pull the boss yet. We're talking about just how risky that pull was from LSJ. Their healer, though, going to go down. Let's see if they can manage to keep Heimdall. Tank may just fall here. Fell explosives keep getting dropped into these bad zones. They're pretty difficult to hit at that point, but the self-sustain out of the DK, really impressive. He's able to stay up.
He's able to survive, but the rest of the raid is not, because they're not did not care for that dragon coming back behind them.
Yeah, that really is going to cost it for them. They had the better pool at the beginning, but just like that, they are going to fall down to this boss. It seems like they're going to play it out, though.
Yeah, they're going to play it out. They did have that rest of the healers so they can keep... we don't let Demon Hunter needs the healing because the DK can pretty much keep himself alive. It's important to remember here, you only need to get the boss at 10%. That's the point when he gives up. And now you have the third set of Drakes here that you just have to deal with. It can be very dicey if you get two of them that comes close together and you have to dance back and forth. You do end up dealing with it. Well, it was a relatively easy one. They only just have 1 more %, and there we go. The boss actually gives up. Meanwhile, we have MMT at 25%, just being like 15% behind after being so far behind on the first pull.
Yeah, and all of their members are still up, so they are going to cut through this a lot quicker, and they've been just flawless on mechanics right now, not taking any unnecessary damage, not getting hit by just about anything blue. All the bad stuff tends to be blue, and just like that, they managed to get Heimdall. LSJ